Afternoon, Mike here from Suburban Philly Angling. Saturday afternoon in December. It's cold, it's windy, but it's sunny and the bluebird skies are out, and I'm hoping that maybe the water warms up a little bit and maybe he gets a couple of bites. I'm fishing a spot that I fish often in southeastern Pennsylvania. I'm going to be covering some riprap today, so I'm hoping to maybe get some fishing, finessing some crawfish and some craws, some jigs, maybe throw a square bill crankbait. We'll see. You know, this is a tough time of year, but we're going to see if we can get into something. I'm going to start out with the craw here and just kind of flip this down in the rocks. Probably get snagged right away. Got to fish really, really slow this time of year. Water is crystal clear. So I'm using a natural color. Just doing anything I can to entice a bite today. Just kind of navigating the rocks here, hopping back and forth. Water level is very, very low. Where I'm standing right now is actually usually underwater. So, snagged already. Oh, got him off. Got snagged pretty quickly there, which is pretty expected with anything with a jig or a finesse down in the rocks. You know, you run that risk. Like again, just there. Oh, got it out again. It's going to be very challenging to catch fish on the finesse over here, on the riprap, without losing a bunch of them. But you can't do it unless you try. I don't know if you can hear me well. There's a lot of traffic going around, so I apologize if it's not loud enough. I'm going to be grabbing a camera in the off season, like a GoPro or something. But I'm just hoping to get one or two of those last bass of the season for me. I'll be right back with you if I get anything. All right, fished about 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes or so with the craw down really low and slow on the rocks. I actually caught somebody else's swim jig and was able to salvage that. It's obviously only been in the water for, God, it can't be in the water that long. It was in great shape. So that was one good catch for the day, but no fish. So I'm gonna move over to a different tactic. You know, I went to a slow finesse thing to start, and now I'm going to try to do something on the moving end of things with a square bill crank. Just going to not going to retrieve it as fast as normal. I'm going to try to cover all the water around, not just the riprap, because you know the fish do on sunny days like this tend to maybe venture off into the flats a little bit, so I don't want something that goes too down deep and is rubbing in the muck and the grass and everything. So we'll see if we get anything on this. I'll be back with you, hopefully, with a fish. Not what I was necessarily going for, but this is a very good sign. I got a perch here, a yellow perch on a crank, in a place where I was not sure if the fish were still here for the season. And now we know. You know, if the perch are here, so are the bass and so are the muskie. Just trying to get him off the hook here.
Of course, he had to get all 3 trebles at one time in his little tiny mouth.
But again, not what I'm going for, but this is a sign that the fish are here. The fish are feeding on these perch, which I just dropped. Oh, he got back in the water. Good. Very, very, very good news that just happened. That was only the 3rd cast with this, so maybe we'll be back with something bigger in a minute with like a bass or a muskie. A muskie would be phenomenal. All right, so a little update. I just caught another perch a few seconds ago, and I already rigged him up as bait. You know, you do everything you can this time of year to get the bite. So if I need to use him as bait, I'm going to use him as bait, and I'm going to throw that little crankbait back on another rod and see if I can catch some bass and even maybe a few more perch. Catching fish this time of year, no matter what the size, is always fun, and that's the key. You know, you just keep at it. I don't really have a bobber or anything like I'd like to have, or even a balloon in that matter. So God only knows what that perch is doing out there. But I know a lot of people that catch a lot of muskie and big bass on perch. I've done it myself with bass at least. So it's just a little update, and if I get back to you in a little bit with something big, it's going to be monumental for middle of December. All right, the update's not so hot. I still got the perch out there on a free drag, just waiting for it to scream. That would be awesome. I tried to keep going with the square bill crank, nothing happened. I tried the ultimate compact fish catching thing of a little jig head with a little like twister tail on the back from a plastic worm that I bit off. However, I did hear some disturbances over here in this shallow. I normally wouldn't go there, but I don't know, maybe I might try to, with the sun beating down on this shallow flat, maybe the fish are up in there feeding a little bit. Maybe if I throw a fluke or something, I don't know. I'm just going to try everything I can, and hopefully we'll be able to get you something, at least a bass. 2 perch is fun, but you know, we're here for bass in December, so I'm just going to keep chugging, see if I can figure out something else, and hopefully I'll be back with you in a little bit with a fish. Best news ever. Just casted to that flat for the first time with a Carolina craw. You see that? Look what he did. He took it down. First cast over there. There's fish coming up on the shallows to feed on some of these bait fish, and I just got a bite on the first cast over there. It could have been a small fish, so I guess I shouldn't be too excited, but the fact that it bit and it bit and it came back and it bit, and I pulled the rod up and there was definitely bouncing, there was a fish on the thing, or at least had a fish in its mouth, is just so exciting in December. Let's see if we can grab one for you. Be right back. Actually, let's stay on. Let's see if we can get one live. And I still got my perch rod out there, and he's moving around a lot. He's doing good. He's still alive and well. I'm just waiting for that reel to scream, you know. The wind did pick up, but I'm very confident right now after my first cast of getting bass bite. That was definitely bass. It was probably small bass, but getting anything in this time of year in northeastern and southeastern Pennsylvania is awesome. I'm literally just letting that craw die out there, and I'm just twitching it along the bottom, and I can't believe I just had a friggin' bite. That is so exciting, and I'll be dead honest with you, very unexpected. Not to put down my abilities, but you know, it's really tough this time of year. What the heck? The claw came off. Something probably bit at the claw. So there's something out there eating. Let me get back rigged up. I'll be right back. All right, I just got re-rigged. Man, that sun is beating down on this shallower water. And this is definitely a spot I fish at often in the spring and summer months before the water gets too weeded over and too hot. But like I said, to be out here in December and getting a bite on your first cast in a specific spot with a specific tactic is really rewarding. I mean, I'd love to get a fish on here, but I don't know how easy of a feat that's going to be. There's still a lot of weed over there, so that means, you know, the bait fish are squirming around. The big fish are hiding under the weeds, waiting to attack, because there's still a lot of weed out there considering the time of year. I did not expect this weed to be under the surface and alive this well. It's still bright green, a lot of it. So it's a very rich, good grass right now still, even though it's middle of December. I'm telling you, there's a fish over there that's going to take this, and I'm going to land a bass. I know it. I feel it. And if that perch happens to scream, I'm not going to complain about that either, because that's just an amazing thing. Can't believe I missed it the first time. That might have been my only chance at it, you know, unless they're schooling up over here. But I don't know. We'll see. Just casting it out, letting that light weight sink it down to the bottom. It's on a Carolina rig, so it's there's a distance between the craw and the weight. The water is super clear right now this time of year, towards the end of fall. Once those weeds start to die off, it really clears up. So I'm using a natural green color, something to kind of not stick out too much in this water. And you know, we're just going to see. Just going to see if they're there. Be right back. I moved about 10 feet down for a better vantage point of this flat. I really think there's bass under these weeds. Getting them to bite, though, is just proving very difficult, as always. That first bite was really interesting, though, because that's what kept me here. I thought the day was done, and then I got that bite, and here I am, 20 minutes later. But I know the fish are here. I know they need to eat. It's just, are they going to eat anything that I have or not? That's always a challenging thing this time of year. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Hopefully I can get one for you before the end of the day. That would be awesome. I only got about a half hour left, and I got to get out of here. This is so frustrating, yet so motivating. I am crawling this ever so slowly on the bottom. And when I stop it, and even after sitting there for 5 seconds, something's picking it up, spitting it out, picking it up, spitting it out. It's probably not a big fish. It's probably a small bass or maybe even a panfish. But to be getting this action is freaking driving me crazy. It's keeping me here. It's keeping me here when I know that the odds are against me. This is a hard lake anyway, even in the during the season. It's very pressured. It's practically a friggin' tourist trap down here. So to be getting bites right now and not being able to get a fish on is getting frustrating, but we'll see. Well, I didn't land a bass. I appreciate you watching if you did. I look at that as a successful day. I got 2 perch.
No. Your cellular device.
Sorry about that. I got 2 perch. And I will tell you that every single time I threw out that Carolina rig craw, I got tapped or I got run. I know it was only panfish or small bass, but that was exciting enough to keep me there. You may look at this as a failure. I look at this as a day that now I know that there's fish there. There's panfish there all year. So this is a place you can go fishing all year long. Thank you for watching. Mike, Suburban Philly Angling, December, mid-December cold bass. Or not.